Tensions were running high as Ryan Garcia prepared for his upcoming fight against Rolando "Rolly" Romero on May the 2nd. The intensity of the moment hit a boiling point when Bill Haney, Devin Haney's father, showed up at Ryan's workout session. Bill had the camera rolling as Ryan was training, and it didn't take long for Garcia to take notice. To Ryan, it seemed like more than just casual filming. It felt like a covert scouting mission, a way for Bill to analyze him before the big fight. This wasn't just about training. It was about the chess match, figuring out each other's next move. As soon as Ryan saw the camera, he stopped his workout dead in its tracks. The tension was palpable. What started as a brief interruption quickly escalated into a heated exchange between Garcia and Bill. Ryan, clearly annoyed, wasn't about to let it slide. As his workout came to a sudden halt, Bill seemed irritated by the disruption. His frustration was obvious. He wasn't just there to film. It felt like he was trying to get under Ryan's skin. For Bill, this was more than just a scouting. It was about getting an edge for his son, Devin, who had unfinished business with Ryan after their last encounter. Their last fight, which ended in a one-sided beatdown for Devin, was still fresh in Bill's mind. Ryan had handed Devin a tough loss last April, knocking him down 3 times and leaving him with what looked like a potential jaw injury. That fight was supposed to set the stage for Devin's rise, but instead, it was a humbling moment for him. So it was no surprise that Bill wasn't going to let that loss slide. This time, he was determined to find a way for his son to come out on top if they ever crossed paths again. Things didn't calm down after the heated exchange between Ryan and Bill. Later on, Ryan's father, Henry Garcia, got involved. The two fathers reportedly exchanged some strong words, each defending their fighter's honor and trying to make their point. Henry was just as determined to stand his ground. He didn't hold back. For him, this wasn't just about protecting his son, it was about sending a message. He saw what was happening. Bill's early filming wasn't just a casual observation, it was a sign that Devin and Bill were already focused on Ryan, perhaps obsessing over him too early. And that could be a dangerous mistake. After all, Devin still had to handle his own business this Friday night against Jose Ramirez, which was also happening on the undercard of Ryan's fight against Rolly. There was still a lot of boxing for the Haneys, but here they were, already consumed with the idea of another potential showdown. Ryan's camp, led by his coaching team, wasn't about to let Bill's behavior go unnoticed. They saw it for what it was, an early attempt to dissect Ryan's every move in a bid to prepare for a rematch with Devin. It was clear that Bill wasn't just there as a concerned father, he was there as a strategist, trying to outsmart Garcia. But Ryan's team wasn't fooled. They believed the focus on Ryan was a sign that the Haneys were more preoccupied with him than they were with Devin's own upcoming fight. And that, they felt, was a big mistake. It could all backfire if Devin didn't take care of business against Ramirez. Ryan had already proven he could handle himself in a tough battle, and after his dominant performance against Devin last year at Barclays Center, the Haneys would be wise to keep their eyes on their own fight instead of looking too far ahead. The bad blood between the two camps wasn't just about the past, there was so much more at stake now. Ryan's dominant win against Devin last year had flipped the narrative. That win had been a game changer for Ryan's career, and for Devin, it was a loss that still stung. But now, with both fighters on the verge of their next big tests, the drama surrounding their potential rematch was only heating up. Everyone had something to prove. The bad blood was, and no one was backing down fight. Not in the gym, and certainly not in the ring. Would the Haneys get their chance at redemption, or would Ryan Garcia continue to solidify his place among boxing's elite? The tension between the camps was palpable, and it wasn't just limited to Ryan and Bill's confrontation at the gym. The build-up to this fight, one of the most talked about in recent months, was quickly becoming a war of nerves as much as a war of fists. The history between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney was a tangled web of rivalry, pride, and unfinished business. The two had shared a spotlight before, but Ryan's one-sided victory over Devin had left a bitter taste that neither of them had been able to shake off. For Bill Haney, the fatherly role was more than just about supporting his son. It was about strategy, manipulation, and getting inside his opponent's head. The idea that Bill was filming Ryan's workout wasn't just about gathering intel, it was about claiming the mental. In boxing, the psychological warfare is just as crucial as the physical preparation, and Bill knew that better than anyone. Ryan Garcia, on the other hand, wasn't about to let Bill's tactics rattle. He was all too familiar with the mind game come with the territory, especially with the kind of stakes involved in a fight like. Ryan wasn't just fighting Rolando Romero on May 2nd. He was fighting for his legacy, for the chance to prove that his victory over Devin Haney wasn't a fluke. And while the drama surrounding his rematch with Raleigh was enough to fill any press room, it was Devin Haney and his camp that remained at the back of Ryan's mind. The Haneys had no intention of backing off from the looming possibility of a rematch, and Ryan knew that every move he made in this fight, every second he spent training, would only fuel their obsession. It wasn't just about the fight. It was about the message that Ryan Garcia would send to everyone watching. He wanted to prove that he wasn't just a flash in the pan, that he was here to stay at the top of the lightweight division. The fight against Raleigh Romero was huge, no doubt, but the shadow of a potential rematch with Devin Haney loomed large over it. For Ryan, it felt like the pressure was only building. He had already done the hard work of dismantling Devin in their first encounter, but the question now was whether the Haney camp had learned anything from that loss. Bill Haney's early scouting could be seen as a sign of their desperation, but Ryan wasn't about to give them the satisfaction of seeing him break under the pressure. His confidence wasn't just in his ability to outbox Raleigh. It was in his belief that no matter how much the Haneys tried to dissect him, they couldn't take away what was already his. The victory against Devin had given Ryan a new level of self-assurance, but it also put him in the crosshairs of the Haneys, who were determined to find a way to beat him. As Ryan's training session continued, he couldn't help but think about the bigger picture. There was more at stake than just his fight with Raleigh Romero. This was a moment in time where everything in his career seemed to converge. The drama with the Haneys, the fight with Raleigh, and the looming possibility of a rematch with Devin. Every punch he threw, every sweat-drenched minute of his workout carried the weight of those stakes. Ryan knew that, and so did his team. They were all acutely aware that a loss to Raleigh Romero would set back his career in ways that were hard to predict. But Ryan wasn't just fighting for himself, he was fighting for validation. This wasn't just a fight for money or fame, it was a fight for respect, a chance to prove that he was the real deal, a force to be reckoned with in the lightweight division, someone who had the skills, the heart, and the resolve to make it all the way to the top. And yet, despite all the noise and all the drama surrounding him, Ryan remained focused. He wasn't going to let Bill Haney's antics or past victories or losses cloud his mind. The fact that Devin Haney's camp was so obsessed with Ryan spoke volumes about how much the loss had impacted. The Haneys might have been strategizing, plotting, and trying to figure out how to beat Ryan, but at the end of the day, Ryan knew the only thing that mattered: what happened. The build-up to his fight with Raleigh Romero wasn't just a fight with Raleigh, it was a statement. A statement that Ryan Garcia wasn't a one-hit wonder, that his rise to the top wasn't just a fluke, that no matter how much Devin and Bill Haney tried to get into his head, Ryan Garcia was more than ready for whatever came next. The gloves were on, the countdown was ticking down to the big night, and there was no turning back.